Shut up and sit down.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Bradley Bradexisma and I'm accompanied by the stunning
Sam, also known as Spencer Rock.
And we got another episode of the DLGTP Different Level Gaming the podcast to present to all you lovely listeners at home. We got a new setup on the screen for you. We got us up here, I guess it's like better FPS than it was last time, and just a bunch of information that I'll introduce throughout the podcast. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start. We got our special guest. We got Mert on today. Yeah, he's down here. If you can see him.
Real quick, Mert's my really good buddy.
Yeah, he's a good friend of Sam's. Yeah. I've known Mert for about like maybe 3 or 4 months at this point. I've talked to him pretty much. Our friendship started over the summer, something like that.
Yeah.
But
When I met you in the summer.
When I met you in the summer. But yeah, Mert, we were talking before, and we were like just talking about the podcast and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, I'm kind of interested in like hardware and stuff," so that's what we're gonna try and aim today's episode on. So, but I'm actually gonna start with a little kind of DLG PSA because of some recent events that have happened. I happened to make my return to the competitive League of Legends scene in the last week, which was very, very disturbing because I live in a desert. Me and Sam, we both live in a desert where the internet connection is not good, especially considering that the European server is all the way over in Western
like
Europe.
Russian CSGO
stereotype. Russian CSGO stereotype. But yeah, so I play in a desert, and it's far away from the server, and I am the coach for DLG Ice, which we went over in the last episode with Psycho, but I'm the assistant coach. And Psycho was away because he was getting his surgery, and I was just chilling with the team. We were getting ready for our game, and our top laner didn't show up, and I had to play in place of our top laner as top lane Nunu, which is not a champion you should necessarily be playing in the top
lane Nunu.
It's literally just because his mechanics are like really low, and playing at high ping, it's like the best thing I could do. We did lose the game, but I did my best. Like, there's not much you can do on like such bad ping, and
it's just the whole team's like, because of that top lane Nunu,
man. But it was really interesting experience for me to go back.
So
into
was that a tournament or like a practice?
It was a tournament game.
It was a tournament game.
It was a tournament game, but we ended up tying the series because we're in the Vesper League, which is a best of 2. Which, if you don't understand that, it's if you win the first game and then you win the second game, then that's a win. But if you win the first game and then lose the second game, it's a draw, and then you go on to the next match next week and stuff. So we ended up tying the series because our top laner came back and was able to play in place, and he just totally stomped everyone because he's a legend. Shout out to you, Minecraft. You'll be on the podcast sometime in the future. But yeah, so I played top, and it didn't go amazing. I was never even a competitive top laner in the first place.
Jungle, right?
I was a jungler and support. I played both, and I'm probably over the summer when I go back to Canada and play a lot more. I'm hopefully gonna get back into my AD because I really enjoy playing AD. But yeah, it was a full game of Diamond Master Plats, and I just it was not the best way to jump back into the competitive League of Legends scene. And just something that DLG is looking for right now, if you want to go ahead and do the little bit of an announcement.
DLG is looking for streamers, content creators, writers, and team managers, and you can sign up for that at...
yeah, so if you, we got like all these new positions opening, just at DLG, so that you can go ahead and join us, and maybe if that's what you're passionate about, you can go to different-level-gaming.net/careers, and the link is actually it's down there, just for the website itself. You can go there and see if there's anything that you think you're applicable to join us with. But other than that,
and we'll go ahead and put that link in the description below.
Yeah, I'll put it in the description just so that
or annotation right here.
An annotation. There'll be an annotation on the
right here,
right there.
Yep, right here.
Okay, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start talking about the topic of today's podcast, which is gonna be hardware. So if for those of you who do not own a computer and are definitely not listening to this podcast, hardware is
if you don't own if you don't own technology.
Yeah, it's the physical part of the technology that we have. And by the way, I apologize for my little bit of a lisp, but I cut the inside of my mouth playing soccer
of all sports. Tear himself in.
But yeah, you know, it's how it is.
I look up, I see Brad flipping over a guy,
and then I like stand up and I'm walking with like blood dripping out of my mouth.
It was like, what?
But yeah, yeah. So hardware is the actual physical component to what it is that you have that's making your computer run. And we both, me and Sam, we wrote down these little like little notes as to what hardware is to us, and I'll go with mine because it's nearly not as funny as what Sam's is. So I'm gonna do mine quick, real fast. So hardware is the difference from having you got to get that FPS, bro, smooth gameplay, and like just like everything that comes together. And it's the difference between having a computer built to play Minesweeper and having a computer built to play Battlefield 4, which is the #1 most demanding PC game at the moment. But Sam's
so if you're like me and you're not financially rich because you're a child and you're not in competitive league, hardware to you allows you to toast your bread well because you're playing on a toaster.
You gotta toast your bread, boys. But that... I've always loved that comparison. It's been a huge meme, especially in the League community. Just like when people, because you can see how much people have loaded into games before you like get into the games themselves. And so when you're just like, oh, what brand toaster are you running on, bro? So,
but you know, I actually realized that after playing League, I'm like, oh, comparatively to like all the other people playing this free game,
yeah,
I actually have a decent PC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like you don't have a terrible PC, you just don't have a gaming PC.
Yeah.
Which is the difference, because it's like.
Which
is the cool thing about PC gaming, because like you don't need to have a console to play games. You can just like load it up on your PC, regardless if it's bad or not. You just can't like necessarily play it smoothly.
Or some games you just can't play.
Some games you just can't play at all. But right now what we're gonna do is I think we're just gonna go over the rigs that are our rigs, like our computers, what we got, peripherals, all that kind of stuff. So Sam, you go ahead and introduce your toaster.
So my toaster is an Acer, I believe Aspire Series 7.
Okay.
And as like an Intel Core, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 64 processor or a terabyte hard drive, and the graphics card is an AMD Radeon R7 M265 series. So Brad's gonna handle the AMD part. I mean, like the computer was like inexpensive, and it's not. It's like slightly above a toaster. I say like a fryer.
Yeah, it's like a deep fryer.
Yeah, it's like a deep fryer.
Or like a rice steamer, almost.
I feel like you can make more things with a deep fryer.
Okay, yeah.
So rice steamer, I feel like you're steaming rice.
You're just steaming rice?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then for peripherals, I mean, compared to this guy, I'm a bit of a scrub. I have a recently got a Razer Naga Hex. And that was because I gave a kid a Cyrex skin. He gave me a Razer Naga Hex and some like keyboard, but I don't really use it that often. Yeah. So for my keyboard, I mostly use my laptop keyboard.
That's a good
mouse
keyboard.
pad. Brad gave me a free mouse pad for this place he used to go to. And I have a broken IKEA chair, which I sit on, which if I lean back, I fall off. So,
which is actually interesting, because in the episode that we have next with someone, I'm not going to tell you yet, but he actually has a broken IKEA chair as well.
Well, I already feel...
You already feel like you're friends with him. Yeah, but, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce all my stuff, because I got quite a arsenal of things. I run, and so what we're filming on right now and recording on is my Alienware 15 from 2015. Intel Core i7 processor, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970M, and yes, it's an M, so that means it's a laptop, so y'all can be hating on my not...
It's the first time I heard you say y'all.
It's because I don't say y'all. Nobody says y'all. What are we, Americans?
Yeah. What?
Use.
I'm Canadian, dude.
Use
guys. But yeah, so I run GeForce GTX 970M, which is the 970 version for laptops. The M stands for mobile. Obviously, it's not going to be the same as the one that's in your desktop, because it's not it's not big enough to put desktop graphics. I got 1 terabyte hard drive and 16 gigs of RAM, and I can. This is a fun fact. I can run Crysis 3, which is the 3rd most demanding PC game, at full graphics at the same time that I'm running GTA 5, which has the 13th most demanding graphics, at the same time at full graphics. So it's a little fun fact about my beautiful PC. Peripheral-wise, I use a Razer Naga Green Edition. I use a Razer Goliath Speed Edition League of Legends mousepad, and I have a Razer Black Widow. Oh, whoops! I opened something here real quick. I use a Razer Black Widow Chroma keyboard, and I got my DX Racer, which is I just got it a couple days ago.
Just got it.
I just got this chair. Look at it. Like, this is beautiful. Oh my god, it's so comfy too.
I wish I could see you guys right now.
We'll show you the setup. Well, you'll see it when you watch if you watch the podcast. But yeah.
It's kind of
watch
awkward.
the
I'm just
podcast,
looking
man.
at Skype and like this. I can't see it. I can only see like Brad's cap in his profile picture, and that's it.
I'm actually wearing the same hat in my profile picture that I
Yeah.
am right now. So, but yeah, I use a Kingston HyperX Cloud 2 headset, which is really, really good. A lot of proteins use it, so I decided to pick it up because it's really good. And backup mouse, I have a SteelSeries Sensei Raw limited edition and a Razer Goliath Control 2012 edition. But
See, Mert's getting bored. He's
yeah,
yawning
he's getting
here.
bored about
He's
me
like,
rambling.
Yes,
No,
we get it. You have all these things. Oh, I'm Brad. I play League of Legends. Look at my League of Legends mouse pad. Oh, I got this mouse because they wanted to. Give it to me.
You know, if you want to go even further in depth, right up here we got if this counts as hardware, my Kog'Maw, my League of Legends Kog'Maw
This
hat.
is not hardware. This is not hardware. That's a plush doll.
It's a hat. I can put it on if you want, but I'm not going to because he looks a lot more swag on
It's
top
not
of
even
it.
hard, at least.
It's not.
It's closer to software.
Yeah, it's more software. But yeah, yeah. So, Mert, what do you run, or what do you? You said you mentioned that you're getting a computer in 2 weeks. What do you plan on running in your new?
First of all, I wasn't yawning because it was tiring. It was tiring. It was like I was bored as hell. But it was more because it's freaking 11:30 in the morning in Istanbul. So I woke up like an hour ago. Didn't even have breakfast yet. Like when you said it was like 1:30 my time, I was like, ah, fuck.
Dude. Yeah, bro. I come downstairs. My dad's like, "Oh, dude, I'm making you breakfast." I was like, "Oh, thanks, Dad." And look, and of course, my dad's like on like the paleo diet. So like, my dad's like, "Vegetables are amazing." Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on vegetables, but it's like we had eggs and. I'm sorry, like, my dad worships the sweet potato. But I don't want sweet potato right when I wake up. We had sweet potato
for breakfast
with eggs. It was like peppers, onions, sweet potato, eggs, and like some like chorizo. Like little tiny bits of chorizo. Then it was like, let's have some more. Like, I'm pretty sure he went through a fridge and went, what vegetables do I have?
what could we throw onto this platter?
He probably had some asparagus in there. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, Mert, you can go ahead and continue now that
Yeah.
Sam is done rudely interrupting.
sorry.
I actually no problem. It's like actually never owned a personal computer in my lifetime. It always was a laptop. I think I'm on my 4th laptop right now. The first one I ever had was like a Vaio, where the screens used to be longer vertically than they were horizontally.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's a little bit awkward. Second one was like a MacBook Pro that I got from my father, where the charger used to be like a circle instead of a rectangle.
I remember
Those old
that.
ones.
Yeah. Well, funny story, real quick. This is actually my first Windows computer. For my entire life I've been running on Mac OS, and I started my League career on Mac OS, which was really, really weird because.
If you're going to stay on League, you could have stayed on MacBook.
Yeah, but it's just so much. It's so much faster on a PC. I don't know, dude.
You can
I
see that
personally- I prefer-
top-down FPS so much quicker. Those like blue orbs that you see.
I like personally. I actually. Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but I prefer the operating software of Mac. I feel like it's just so much more simple and like nothing's really hidden from your view, and you can just find everything like that. But I'm not gonna like deny the fact that PCs are just better computers. They're stronger. They're faster. They're better. They're like that song.
What's that song? It's like, yeah, like
Daft Punk.
better, faster, stronger, or
Yeah.
something.
But it's a true fact, which is why I switched over to a PC for my my next gaming
Good
computer
I'm sorry. If your job
is
involves gaming, you should probably have a
probably not.
Windows
Yeah,
or like a Linux if you want to be crazy.
at least.
Yeah, at least.
Steam OS.
Steam OS,
Steam
Steam
OS.
box, the Steam machine.
Yeah.
To my laptop that I have right now, I run a Windows 10, of course, 64-bit. My processor is an AMD A6 3420M APU, which is the worst part. It's an APU.
Mm-hmm.
It has 4 CPUs, 1.5 gigahertz, which is just shite. I mean, it's terrible. It's like I try to play strategy games and I put down more than like 10 AI controlled entities, and my laptop is like at 5 FPS. I have 6 gigabyte of RAM,
Yeah.
and then I have an AMD Radeon HD 6520G,
Yeah, the AMD master.
which is like the 250th best. So I say best graphic cards for notebooks. It's one of the worst, actually.
Yeah, one of the
Because
worst.
how many graphics cards
Yeah.
are out there?
How many mobile graphics cards can there possibly be?
It's like, and my screen, it's just an HD 60 hertz screen. It's not even full HD, which is terrible. I've like every season from Game of Thrones in full HD. Downloaded it from my cousin's computer, but I can't
you
watch
mean
it in
you
full
bought it?
HD. Yeah, I bought it. Yeah, like he bought it and he gave me the.
Oh, okay. So we're not, I was making a joke, but yeah, okay. If you genuinely bought it, that's good. Okay.
Not even joking. He actually bought it.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Continue.
He bought it, but yeah, copied it.
Yeah.
Maybe. And what I'm going to get in like 2 weeks, I worked very hard for it and saved up for like a year, is an Median Eraser X7835 laptop again. It has an i7 4710MQ,
Nice.
4 cores, 2.5 gigahertz, 16 gigabyte DDR3 RAM. It's like actually 2 times 8 gigabyte, 1 terabyte HDD at 7,200 RPM, and 128 gigabyte SSD for Samsung.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna have an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 980M with 4 gigabit of
Oh,
VRAM.
you're totally trolling me. You're just going 10 up for me.
And it's gonna have a 70-inch Full HD non-glare IPS monitor.
Nice. That sounds like it's gonna be fun.
Funny story, talking about topping Brad. There's this one girl at school who also has
Oh
an
my god.
Alienware.
Oh my god.
And like Brad, like some kid like made a joke. It's Brad. Brad's like, it's not. It's not. I don't know why. I talked to her. The hardware's not there. It's not there. It's not. And then he's like, but she has side lights. You know how side lights. He's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, like
I don't know how. But
no,
it
but
just
it's
doesn't. It's not there.
my computer. It's like it's really cool because I got lights on the front, I got lights on the back, I got lights on my keyboard, and all that good stuff. But for some reason, this chick's Alienware from like last year or something. It's my computer's newer, so whatever. But she has like lights on like coming out of the side of the computer, and I was like, I've never seen that before. But yeah, and then about RAM, one of our buddies at school would just take his computer, open up the back, and run around with his sticks of RAM.
Yeah.
So,
And then one time, this guy had like 2 sticks of 1 gigabyte of RAM, and I combed my hair with
yeah, he
RAM.
combed his hair with some RAM that I had. But Mert, I was gonna ask you, do you prefer console or PC gaming?
I would prefer neither. I would prefer either because it depends on what kind of person you are. I personally own a PlayStation 3, 4, Xbox 360, and I used to own PlayStation 1 and 2 and Nintendo Vita. Like I used to own all the consoles, not all, most of them.
Yeah.
I'm not a rich kid. I just always saved up and worked hard. Sure. But when I was even younger than this, I just wasn't into like computers and always upgrading stuff, and I didn't know how to do all of this stuff and nor did my father or my mother.
Yeah, to get it done.
So I was just like, I'm gonna get a console. I know that every game that is available for this console is gonna be playable. Maybe not at the best FPS, not at the best graphics, but I'm gonna get all of the gameplay
You want.
That you
Yeah.
deserve.
That you deserve.
It's not the gameplay.
It's all
It's
about
not the
that
gameplay
gameplay.
I need, but the gameplay I deserve.
The gameplay. It's not the gameplay I want, but it's the gameplay I need.
It's like, you don't deserve 1080p.
Now I do. I mean,
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
come on. And now that I slowly got into like computer hardware, software, the capabilities of better hardware, and how you can like customize gaming on laptop, like mods, for example. I love mods.
Yeah.
I finished Skyrim like 3 times without mods, and then 4 times more with mods, and
I just
I
love
modded
that.
it so much it just starts to crash.
I love that Thomas the Tank Engine mod where it's like it replaces like the dragon, so like instead of hearing like the crazy like wow dragon suit, you hear choo choo, and you look up and you see Thomas the Tank Engine just flying in, and he starts like breathing fire out.
I haven't seen that.
He's going like choo choo the whole time.
I've seen so many Skyrim mods that have just been hilarious. Like, I can totally understand like somebody putting all those hours into games, like just messing
some
around.
guy,
with
you
mods.
know, Fallout 4, you know, Liberty Prime.
Yes.
Yeah, the giant robot.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guy did once their Thomas Tank Engine. It changed Death Claws, Liberty Prime, and like all cars. Just Thomas the Tank Engine. So you see like giant Thomas Tank Engine walking around like consuming like behemoths, going like like talking about like communism.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I once saw like a Fallout 4 mod where you are like Shrek, and all of your companions are that one
Donkey, Puss in Boots.
donkey. Yeah,
That's pretty great.
it was so funny. I laughed my ass off.
Well, also not to mention
Even
for
I don't
like
know Fallout 4.
for
Yeah.
like PC gaming, also like all the indie games you get too, like the random like
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
I saw some kid at a restaurant, yes, 2 days ago, wearing a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza shirt. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, why? How?"
Why the fuck not? I mean,
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's is pretty awesome. Like the first couple of
I mean,
them.
I appreciate the
and-
story.
yeah, like, hey, if it's a game that you like,
Yeah.
it's a game that you like. But it's like a lot of like there's at this point, I think the first game that I ended up like starting to mod obviously was Minecraft because I was like really big in that. But I like how there's like huge games like dedicated to modding, like Gmod.
Yeah.
It's literally just it's Half-Life
Yeah.
with just plug in a bunch of mods. Just take them
Yeah.
and like just throw them into
I
this
mean, it's
game.
crazy, like this thing that I come out of it. Like who would have thought like I'm making like Trouble on Terrace Town like prop hunt, like
Yeah,
like
it's
whole
just
like things that could be a game on itself.
Yeah, a game itself just plugged into
I know I spent like a week on one server just playing Trouble on Terrace Town.
I actually never played TTT, but I used to play Prop Hunt, which was really, really fun. And then, I don't know, there was something about just playing single player and just downloading a bunch of mods and just messing around with it that was like really fun to me in Gmod.
I used to do that with my friend.
Yeah. I wouldn't be single player now, would it, Sam?
I used
No,
to download
but
like
it's
every
so
single
fun.
gun mod that I could find on Gmod and then just shoot every gun.
Yeah. We're just
Some
we're just having some
Overwatch. Like,
connection
I
issues.
killed Master Chief like 100 times.
Yeah. Master Chief is pretty.
It's Istanbul. So
Yeah, it's Istanbul and it's Dubai, so there's nothing that we can like.
Really?
The connection's gonna be bad regardless, but yeah, I was so you said you were making that computer and you told us like what you're planning on putting in it, right? But is that like your dream computer, or like what would be in your dream computer?
Oh shit. Well, I know a lot of computer building websites, Iron Sun computers, Exotic Gaming, and Origins, and all those different websites,
Mm-hmm.
especially Qgit Systems.
Yeah.
I just love going and just like build that like costs $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, $100,000 computers.
It was pretty funny. I think realistic, not build on Qgit's website. I think I built an Iron site for like $10,000, which is a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it's like because you can
Or
easily
GTX Titan.
Yeah, because you could easily make a computer that has like 4 Titans in it, and it'll be like it'll be super awesome, but it'll be just like realistically expensive. Unrealistically.
Realistically expensive.
Unrealistic. It's not
Unless
realistic
you're
to get.
rich.
Yeah, unless you're like the Sheikh of Dubai
Or Bill Gates.
or Bill Gates.
You could buy the computer and
In,
then
like,
within
20
like 30 minutes.
30.
get it
No, it's
back.
like be more like 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. How that.
But yeah. But yeah, so it's like that. That's the thing about computers is that they just seem to have a good computer. You need to pay a lot more money than to
Yeah,
just play on
that's
a console.
personally why I generally play like consoles and stuff. Because like in the long run, you're probably gonna spend less on PC,
Mhm.
but it's like just like starting out, it's a big investment.
Yeah. Right. So I think that's like all we got to say about. Sorry. Go ahead.
Games are cheaper on computer.
Games are cheaper on PC.
Not just,
Yeah.
The hardware itself.
But yes, GTA, Steam Summer Sale, Humble Bundle, and all those different sites, it just is barely long.
Yeah, like on Steam specifically, you can buy like games go on sale like every week, every day. I mean, you know, it's not your fault. You're lagging out quite a bit, so I'm just trying to like cut you off when it gets really bad. But you know, we're getting your points, which is good. But yeah, like things like Humble Bundle. The first Humble Bundle that I purchased was the Mojam, which I got like a bunch of like random indie games. That was pretty sweet. And then on Steam, you get like you can like. Games like Counter-Strike go on sale like every single time that there's a sale. Like random games go on sale like for like 50 to 75%. So it's like you can just get any game.
Every greenlit game ever goes on sale.
Every game ever goes on sale eventually. It's like it's crazy. Steam like they just take your money with all these sales, and it's like they do a good job of like making games accessible.
The only time with console that I felt like, oh, this was amazing is with like PlayStation.
Mhm.
Like now you're forced to have PS Plus to play online. Before it wasn't.
Yeah.
So PS3 I had PS Plus because they gave you like free games.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like within 6 months, I'm pretty sure like BioShock Infinite coming out, it was free for PS Plus users.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was like BioShock Infinite, like the new Tomb Raider and stuff. It was all free, and I was like, this is the best $60 to spend on my life. I got like. I got all these games I
Those
never
are
want to
insane
buy.
games. BioShock Infinite specifically is like a really cool game. I've never owned it myself, but I've played it like at other people's houses. I finished the game, yeah. So wait, I have a question here, but I don't understand what I was trying to say. Okay, never mind. Let's just ignore that. We can go ahead now and start talking about Mert, yourself, if we want to get into that a little bit. Sam, they've been friends for a while, so if you just want to, let's just like talk about life.
I was just trying to let you ramble on as long as possible because I could tell he's like, Sam, if you want to like speak,
If you
now,
wanna
I'll
speak
take
now."
over." I was like, if you just want to talk about conversations such as involving the aspect of life.
No, it's like no, I saw this video on YouTube that was like when you don't have when you only have 500 words and you need 1,000 words, is like 10 people died in the Bronx last night due to a fire that killed 10 people in the Bronx last night during a fire.
Yeah, I remember I also think it was like some like news anchor like messed up the thing. It was like house burns fire down. I was like, what?
The English language is real messed up.
Also, my favorite one though is like I sent this to you, but it's just like there's a flashlight just like on the street.
Yeah,
It said,
just
suspicious flashlight. And you're like,
The delayed reaction, it makes it even funnier.
yeah. Just like this empty road, nothing's happening, just a flashlight, suspicious
flashlight.
Because like I love to like you can't like blow up bombs from flashlights and stuff.
Yeah.
Like at least I don't think so. There's not enough
I
power
doubt
there.
it. It's pretty small.
Yeah, so it's like it's not even like a big thing. It was just like, oh, who lost a flashlight? But yeah, so Mert and I have been friends for quite a while now, and we share similar outlooks on things. And
Half a year, I think. It's like 8 months now.
yeah, a little bit.
You met him through a friend
Yeah, I met him through my other friend Morgan
from school, from older schools.
Yeah.
And I met him through a friend I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I met Mert through a friend, and Mert met my friend through a friend and then my friend met Mert's friend through a friend.
Okay,
so it's like this long
confusing cycle.
chain of friends, and that like no one like we don't really like those friends, but it got us to liking Mert. So it's like well, it kind of worked out in the ends of these like half like just friends that really aren't that great, but you know. So yeah, no, Mert and I really appreciate we share like the same morals and stuff. I talked to Mert and he's comfortable with this. Unfortunately, Mert was recently like diagnosed with some like heart problems, and he has about.
You want to go?
If
You
wanna go,
want to
Mert?
talk about it, or
Might get more detail. I was diagnosed with heart failure. It's a real heart failure, but you know my heart skin is degrading because of some stuff with my brain. And
yeah.
I don't want. It's not hard to explain in English.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Sam
so
understands
I can try Mert. So like from what I understand from what talking to Mert over the past few like weeks and months and stuff, it's like he said his heart is like a regular beat almost to the point where it kind of like wears down the skin eventually.
Yeah.
And so
Irregular,
tissue.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like there's a chance it could all work out, but it's like 2%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and the chance of me like dying like increases over the time, or depends if it regenerates faster than it actually degenerates. Then actually the chance that I die like lowers a bit. For example, the chance that I die in the next 2 years is at 60%. Well, if you play XCOM, 60% doesn't sound like a lot. But
if you play XCOM.
That's a good way to think about it. Just bring everything back into video games.
I love XCOM though, because it's like Brad and I are like this close, and some guy's got like a sniper rifle, and we're like aiming like at his head. It's like 60% chance to hit, and like I literally saw a video where a guy went like, like he missed. He's like 8 chance this guy. He's like, oh no.
Yeah. But yeah, so at some point Mert was just listening to our podcast and stuff, and we just thought it would be a good idea to bring him on, just to like bring friends in and like just have a good time. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed like what we've been talking about. And so Mert, now we're gonna move on to a segment of the show. It's personally my favorite, plainly because of its name, where we're just gonna share some life stories. I'll have you go last. Sam can start out, and then I'll go, or unless you want me to change it. So, but the introduction to Absolute BS, and not the BS you're thinking of, Absolute Brad and Sam, where we talk about life stories that we've experienced that could be gaming related or not, just to give you guys a little bit of a laugh.
I wasn't quite prepared this week.
Oh,
but
that's rough, Sam.
But,
you got a reputation to...
No, look, I'm gonna ramble on a little bit. It's alright, I'll pull through here. Because Mert's here, so I figured we can talk about something that Mert and I often talk about together. Females.
Ooh. That's a great topic.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mert and I often, like, vent to each other about females, because we both have people in our life that kind of annoy us and are kind of off and on again. I know Mert has recently done a great thing that I should probably do, and just cut off communication. It was just kind of
some certain people.
With some certain people, it was just kind of like, you know what? Bye.
I'm happier now.
Yeah, and yeah. So I should probably look into that, but I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this. I don't know. I kind of need avenues to vent recently, and I don't know. I thought because I don't have
yes.
a story, I could vent here.
All right, so that's a good vent. Good. Vent it all out. All right, so we seem to have lost Mert, but you know, I'll just close that until he comes back on. See if he calls us back. But yeah, we'll continue venting. Do you want me to go on my story, or are you good to continue?
No, I'll continue the vent for a bit.
Okay.
So as of recently,
Yes.
there's a certain person who I'm kind of hoping they're not listening to this right now.
They will be. Alright.
Alright, here we go. We got Mert.
We got him back, boys.
Guys, it's okay. It's okay. The podcast can go on. The show must go on, and now we have Mert, so it's better.
Yeah. Okay. This was
Okay.
perfect timing.
I mean, he's clearer than ever too. It's like when he Mert went from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. He went from like kind of like
comes
slowly
back
dying out, and now he's back and more powerful.
Yeah. The HD webcam.
HD webcam. Yeah, so I've been kind of going off and on with this person for a bit, and some of my friends dislike this person because of this.
Not gonna judge.
I kind of judge. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying someone else maybe in this call. So, dislike this person, but I came to the conclusion because like Mert and I both generally are guess like the nice guy type thing of like like you try to be a nice person and stuff, but it doesn't really generally work out in the end because
people are confusing, man.
But not only that, but like there's nothing interesting like if you're just nice. Cause what, I mean that's great that you're nice, but it's like, what else? What other qualities do you have? So I've been approaching this very differently, and I gave myself a deadline. Ooh. So I am traveling in a week's time, and I'm going on like spring break for like nearly a month or something. Which is
I don't
very
think I've
nice.
heard this plan yet.
So I gave myself a deadline. By the time I'm going to New Orleans for my cousin's wedding.
Yes.
I want to know whether I should have a good time or if I should, like slow the roll and stuff, depending on my relationship with this person. So, I'm giving myself a week to address this. I'm going to address it in a certain way. I'm not going to say it on the podcast. I will talk about this some other time when I address this, how I'm going to address this. But, yeah, I'll give myself a week so that way I know where I stand with this. I don't know, for some reason I had to get out there. My mother would be like, I had to get out there in this universe. Which, by the way, Mom, my mom's been supporting us since day one.
His mom subscribed.
She subscribed. We looked through the subscribers. She's right there. And also, she was talking to my dad, and she was like, she's like, oh, did you see Sam's podcast? And Dad's like, yeah, I watched like 5-10 minutes of it or so. And she's like, oh, she's like, I watched the whole thing. My dad was like, okay. So thank you, Mom, for supporting us, getting us this, because it really matters, like how long the people watch.
I think we're at like 27 subscribers now.
So 27 subscribers, yeah, we really appreciate it. Shout out to my mother.
Shout out to his mother.
Yeah, I know, I just want to get out there and just one more quick humble brag. I know my absolute BS has been all over the place, so I'm sorry about this, but yesterday my football team won.
They won a game.
6-6.
They won a game.
We broke our losing streak. First game of the playoffs, it was either go big or
go
literally
home.
Go home. Don't come back till like the next season. And then we won 46-6. My coach was like, I don't know how you went from like scoring a touchdown every other game to scoring almost 50 points this game or whatever. He was like, but good job. And then he's like, you're gonna celebrate tonight. He's like, we're coming back and we're gonna practice even harder someday. He's like, because to be honest, you were still terrible. I was like, all right, thanks, coach. It's like they were just worse.
They're just fantastic.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I got a good thing going. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and tell my story. So this is actually, it's a story of determination, and it's gonna teach you to make sure that you do what you want to do in life. So on Christmas Day in Canada, Christmas is a pretty big thing in Canada. It's not that big in this side of the world because of like religious reasons and stuff like that. But I'm from Canada, and back home in Canada, it's like a pretty big thing, and they celebrate it a lot, like just like all the time, right? So on Christmas Day, after we did like the morning stuff where everybody like got presents and stuff, me and my cousin and my, I guess, step cousin, I don't know if that's a thing, but we were just sitting there, and we were in the kitchen, and we were like, I'm hungry, right? And so we looked in the cupboards, and there was nothing that we really wanted to eat, and then we were like, you know what we want? We want pizza. And Pizza is a pizza restaurant.
Pizza?
Yeah, it's a pizza restaurant in Canada, and there's
Guessed it.
yeah, you couldn't have guessed it, but and we really wanted pizza, and it was Christmas Day, and on Christmas Day everything in Canada is closed, and except for pizza for some reason, and we Googled it, and
Isn't
then
that fortunate?
this location near us was open, and so we got in the car, and then we drove to that pizza, and much to our dismay, it was closed. There was a sign on the door saying, sorry, closed on Christmas Day. Even though they weren't supposed to be, I guess. It's just because they can't force people to work on holidays. But that really sucked. But this is not where the story ends. We Googled another location that said they were going to be open. We drove there. It was about 20 minutes away from where we live. That one was closed as well. So we searched another location, which was about 30 minutes away. We went there. It was closed as well. So what we did was we kept driving, and we weren't going to go home until we had our pizza. And this was Christmas Day. It was like negative 10 degrees outside.
Let's run through a story I had.
We're in Canada. We are not giving up until we get our pizza. And we end up about a little bit less than an hour out of where where we live, and we find this pizza place. It wasn't Pizza. I think it was called Gino's Pizza, but it was good.
Probably after like
And it was probably
3
just
hours.
because we really wanted to get this pizza. We went in there. We sat down with the I'm assuming it was like an Indian waiter or whatever, because he's obviously one of the few people that probably won't celebrate Christmas. So he was like the one person working there, and we got our pizza. We felt accomplished, and then we just drove home. With a feeling of accomplishment. So everybody, just remember, don't give up on your dreams, no matter what they are.
Just real quick, one more extra story. It's an actual story. But like 2 or 3 years ago, in my old school in Cyprus, they had like some like I think it was like National Day or something, some sort of celebration, and they had this one station where you could get like kebabs or doner kebabs. It was called. It's kind of like a shawarma.
Yeah.
Here, it's essentially a wrap. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm gonna go get some. And the line was the most disorganized thing I've ever been in. All right, I waited and waited. I waited like this is almost like that knowledge thing. Like I had a mentor. I waited an hour. I waited another. I waited 2 hours in this line. All right.
You still didn't get your food.
And they didn't get it. And then some kid comes, and eventually a teacher comes like, this line's disorganized. We gotta do something. And some kid's like, I've been waiting here for 5 minutes. I still haven't. And I was like, and he goes to the front of the line, and I lose my absolute crap. I'm like freaking out. And you're like, okay, sir, please come to the second line. And I get this this big rap, but I felt accomplished. I walked out. I missed like all the events and everything. I was like, but goddamn, did I not get my rap?
And you ate it, and you enjoyed it.
For about 5 seconds.
Mert, you got an interesting story to throw in before we wrap up the podcast?
I got a story about waiting in line.
Oh my!
In Gamescom, on the Gamescom, yeah. Everyone knows that you wait in line for like 2 or 3 hours if you want to play a game for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I had that.
And I was like, yeah, 2 to 3 hours, I can do that. And I think it was like the biggest clusterfuck Gamescom I've seen in my life. I waited 6 hours. 6 hours in one line.
What game?
And then...
What game was it?
Shit. I can't remember the name right now.
It wasn't that great,
It was like-
so it wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Wait, I couldn't even play it.
What?
It was like 6 hours, and there were like 2 people in front of me, and then there was like this henchman of EA, and he said, "This booth is now closed."
Oh, that's painful.
I was going to
Man.
shoot myself. Like I was going to go on a fucking rampage.
Man,
Oh,
that is painful. I've never actually had
You
any
know-
of those experiences where they're just like, "Oh, we're closed." Like one time, I remember, I was in London and I was gonna meet. We were just at some random toy store and there was this line to meet. I think this WWE wrestler, and I was like 9 or something, so I thought it was really cool. And we got in line, and then they were like, "Oh, we were not accepting any more people." And my dad was like, "No." And then we just went in line, and I went through.
I just saw that. No. Your dad's persuasive ability of no.
No.
He's
But-
like Jedi mind tricked them. Like you will accept one more person. You don't want to sell any sticks. Anyway.
You don't want to sell.
That's our best.
But yeah, thanks, Mert, for being on the podcast with us. Thank you for all you guys for listening. I know today's episode was a little bit more rambly and a little bit more talkative than what most of them are about. But hey, you gotta have some.
Yeah, I
Should we
mean,
talk-
like, I want to like take this podcast seriously, but but I also want to have fun with it too.
You
It's just,
gotta- you gotta have
sometimes,
fun.
guys, it is like at least 30 degrees out, and I walk like a 30-minute walk to Brad's house. All right, I do this for you, but I want to have some fun. Gosh darn it!
We
all
gotta
right?
have. You gotta make sure we're having.
And I'm doing back-to-back sittings because I'm gonna be out of town next week. But the podcast must go on.
The podcast must.
I'm
go
spending like
on.
4 hours at Brad's place.
Yeah.
I'm making some Canadians room for 4 hours, guys, just for you.
Just for you. We appreciate all the views, likes, comments, and we actually did get a Q&A question from one of our friends who told us he didn't actually ask a question, he kind of had a suggestion rather, and he wanted us to do a challenge, and then the winner or loser of the challenge had to eat like a hot pepper or whatever. However, I didn't think of a challenge for us to do yet, so what I want you guys to do is in the comments section put a challenge or something that we can do, and then the winner or loser will have to eat the pepper. But I'd really like to thank Mert for coming on. I'd like to thank you all for watching and listening, like I've said previously. And we'll see you guys next time. Right? See ya. See ya.
Actually, I wrote down so much stuff.